Welcome back to TenTenths Podcast. I'm your host, Robert Barrett. I'm sitting in the Kenny Moore studio all by myself. I have Adam.
God, here we go again.
I have Adam Nielsen on Zoom, but I also have Ian and Dave, and I think Adam can do a much better job of explaining who they are.
Okay, this is Ian and Dave. They are from the Apex Adjacent podcast. Longtime listeners of our show have heard me mention their show more than once. These guys I've been listening to for quite some time. I guested on just recently, and now we've drugged them into the shit show that is TenTenths Podcast.
Hello. We're excited to be here. Adam, Robert, let's do this. Let's do podcast.
Let's see. How many years ago was it that we met you guys in person?
It was about 4 years ago, I want to say.
So these guys are the sole reason of Robbie's favorite picture of me, which is me in what I thought was a Toyota Sienna, but it was actually a Nissan Quest minivan.
Yes.
God, you're so happy in that picture. And if you're on the YouTube, it's there right now.
Like it's been there 100 times before because Robbie brings it up like literally every week.
every chance I can. Look at your long hair and how happy you are discovering the awesomeness of the minivan. When you switch from saying I will never drive a minivan to
Robbie,
God, I can't wait to have a minivan.
It's been proven that I never said that.
We have audio recordings.
No, you have doctored audio.
You can't prove that.
Yes, I can.
Are you deep faking Adam?
I was deep faked. I was full on Alex Jones.
I think you can put machine learning algorithms to
Robbie,
better
can
use.
you play the MP3?
I don't have the MP3 available. But it's you very clearly saying, I will never own a minivan.
I mean, it is my words. I did say those words at some point in time, but never in that order.
Not recorded, except for that one time.
I remember at some point in my life I said I was never going to wear cycling clothes, but you know,
it's okay. I say a lot of things, and it gets brought up on the show. Like you said, 10 years ago you wouldn't do this, and then you did. Yeah, well,
I will never LS swap my 240,
and I did.
You know what? I'm a man of my convictions, and I've never gone back on anything I've said.
Well, all of our listeners are that way. They're happy to tell me when I do.
Yeah, nobody'd ever go back.
Human nature is hypocritical. Okay,
For sure.
Yeah, right.
What do they say? You're a new person like every 7 years or something like that.
Yeah, biologically speaking.
So we're nearly there in podcast length, so we're totally new people now, and that's okay.
Yeah, we started our podcast around the same time, right? We started September 2016, right, Ian? Something like that.
That's right.
I think we were
2015.
Yeah, because we were January 2016.
Yeah,
nice.
You guys are a few months ahead of us, 6 months ahead of us or so. So
yeah, we're coming up on episode 300 pretty soon here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's so
right.
Like next week, I think.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. It's just dudes sitting in a basement. Yeah. Probably there's so much we could have done with that time. You know, God, I'm depressed.
I could have learned a language.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or piano.
I could have built other cars other than.
I promise you that I would not have done anything more productive. Absolutely not. There's no way.
I would have been way better at video games. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Robbie would have a much higher iRacing rating.
Probably.
Well, guys, I'm super thrilled that you guys invited us on since we've spent the first 5 minutes of the podcast talking each other out of doing a podcast.
Is that not what podcasting is?
Here.
Yeah. I thought that's what we were doing here.
So. Let's see. Let's start with Ian. I have some questions for you about your chosen. Well, it's not necessarily your chosen, but your car that you race.
Yes.
That's not your daily driver as well. Your, I guess, dad's Maserati.
Yes. So my dad owns a 1987 Maserati Biturbo, which he races in Champ Car, which used to be Chump Car, which is a better name, but they changed it to Champ Car for reasons I have no idea. Anyway, he races it in that series, and I have raced with him a handful of times. So it's the best.
Do you know why he chose a Maserati of all things?
Yes. So the story is that it was my uncle's car, and he had it. He bought it like in the mid 90s sometime, or late 90s, somewhere in there. He had it for several years and drove it as a street car for a long time. And then something broke on it or something happened. I don't remember. But then my dad bought it. Dave, you were about to say something.
Something broke on the biturbo? You're kidding me.
No. No.
But so then that car, my dad took it and they were going to start, he was going to restore it. And this was like probably 10, 12 years ago now. And he started down the process. He bought a donor car and then like was starting to swap interior bits around and all this other nonsense. And then he realized like, there's a bunch of rust in this thing. Like we might as well, I'm stripping out this interior anyway. It kind of looks like a race car now. So they took it racing. And I mean, it was pretty unreliable at first. And, they didn't really know how to do the endurance racing pit stops. And so there was a big learning curve. And now this is actually a different car than what they started with. This is another biturbo. I think there have been 5 through between donor cars.
I didn't realize that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, between donor cars and parts cars and swapping body panels and stuff like that. I think there have been around 5-ish.
So this has got to be the most developed Maserati biturbo race car on the planet at this point.
Possibly. I think there's like a few others.
So it's got a Haltech standalone in it. Is that?
Yes, that's new. So I drove the car a couple weeks ago for the first time in this iteration with the blue car, which I think you guys have a picture of. I don't know if it's up on the screen, but
it is.
I drove it at Hallett in Oklahoma, which I had never been
Robbie's
to.
favorite racetrack.
Second favorite racetrack.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, Atlanta.
It's a tricky race. It's a tricky track. But anyway, so I drove it with them in Hallett, and we actually won our class on Sunday and got second overall, which is the best result they've ever had.
That's really good.
Second overall is awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
I would imagine that car has the jam in a straight line.
It does. Yeah. I mean, actually on Sunday we had a misfire. So we were really down on power, but it rained for half the day. But don't worry. It's also a real handful in the rain. Because it's a super short wheelbase, and once it started raining a little heavier, like it wasn't so bad, but like that initial stage when it's like just greasy, because they drift at that track too, so there's just like rubber everywhere and oil and shit. And then when it was just like drizzling, it was worse because you would feel the rears or the fronts like start to push. That would be the first thing that would happen going into a corner. And so you'd be like, oh, okay, I gotta lift. Well, if you do that, then it spins. Well, then you're like, okay, well, next time I'm gonna be smart and I'm gonna oversteer my way out of it. And then you spin. So there's like you just have to wait until you just have to slide and wait. And then it goes.
Has it been on a dyno?
I think it has. They are estimating because they made changes since it was on the dyno last. So there's like, I don't know, a thing.
Okay.
But I think they're estimating around 300-ish horsepower at the wheels right now. Maybe
that's hilarious.
Probably less.
And it's like a 2,200, 2,100 pound car.
Yeah, it's like 23. I think it's 2,300 pounds. Yeah.
See, I would never imagine that you could get a Maserati that light.
If
In
you
my
had
head,
seen
that's a
the
really
first
heavy
one,
car.
like the metal, the sheet metal on the bottom was like paper thin. Like it's not as overbuilt as I think you would think.
Is it one of those cars that like if you jack it up without a cage in it, you can't open the doors?
Yeah, it's
it twists so bad.
It's an
like
Italian car, so the steel is al dente.
So, former co-host of our show, Michael Beck, had a love for terrible old Italian cars as well. And his Fiat that he had, the entire wiring harness was made out of brown wires. Do you know if did Maserati do any like such stupid things?
Not
That you know
No.
of the just like
don't think
why
they
would they
had-
do that?
I don't think they had a monochrome wiring harness, which is fucking hilarious.
the person doing the wiring was colorblind.
Right.
It's like this is the way it is in all cars.
when you buy things in bulk, it's always cheaper, and buying multiple colors of wire is really expensive. So if you just buy a master spool of brown and you wire a car, it's really not that big a deal.
Plus, it was lunchtime and the wine was getting cold, and
See, that's the problem
Yeah.
in Italy. You can't trust them.
You can't.
I like
fuck
the
with
way
lunchtime.
you say fiat, Adam. Yeah.
Fiat.
Yeah, you hit it. Yeah.
It's a real hard F.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I don't know. I love that you guys use a Maserati. I went and did one champ car race. Your dad was there, but not with the race car. He actually paced with his Aston Martin, which was awesome.
Oh, was that in Brainerd?
In Brainerd. Yep. And I met him there, talked to him for a little while. But I love weird race cars. I love weird cars in general.
Yeah.
But weird race cars are like always something that's really been interesting to me, like cars that you don't see anywhere else, and like at that champ car event, there's like, 6 BMW E30s and a handful of Miatas and
Fox body Mustangs.
Yeah. The cars you expect to see. And, I love that somebody was like, you know what, this will make a great race car someday. Like, we just got to spend a whole bunch of time, blood, sweat, tears, and money, and we'll probably figure it out along the way. And I love that like attitude. It's great.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's also a slight element of like, we've gone this far now and we've printed so many t-shirts with the effing Maserati logo on it that like we have no choice but to keep going with it.
Right.
And also my yard is like 60% Maseratis. So we have to keep doing it. But anyway, if anyone wants to know more about the Maserati race car, which it's awesome. My dad's race team is called Dead Pedal Racing. They have a website and a Facebook page and stuff. So it's super rad. It's a fun car too. Super fun.
Any more plans this year for that? With them?
Allegedly, they're Laguna Seca. So I'm in like December, I think it is. So I'm 100%. I don't care what I have to do going to Laguna Seca.
Right.
Because there's been like
you don't miss
3
that
other
opportunity.
attempts to get to Laguna Seca, and they've all not happened. So I really want to do that one. And then
we're gonna rent a Nissan Quest minivan.
I'm in. I'm down for it. Seriously, I don't care.
That's probably a less drive than what was it, Road America that you guys went
About
to?
the same. Yeah.
The same, I think. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've done Palm Springs to Denver, and it was about that. Yeah.
I suppose Denver's not as far west as I think it is a lot of times.
No, it turns out America's big.
Yeah, it's a funny thing about it.
Yeah.
So we drive way too much of it around here. So
It's what happens when you live in a no shit rectangle state. You just gotta. It's a long drive to get to anywhere.
once you accept the fact that everything's 8 hours away, it's really not that big a deal.
Right.
So, but
Nice.
I know Robbie loves Hallett.
I do.
Up until very recently, that was his favorite track to drive.
Robert, what do you love about Hallett?
I honestly can't place. I think it's everything. Like the track itself is super fun. There's enough elevation change that you can like really enjoy it. I'm so bored with flat tracks. But I also like just the paddock area. I also like the shower that's open to the stars. You can shower outside. That's my favorite.
He thought that was amazing. Like
I'm still thinking I'm going to install one next to my garage. I think
Like a Richard Branson open air island shower?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a shower building with no ceiling on it. So like
I think
it's
they
got
were
all-
just
it's got
saving
the
money,
walls and all
dude.
that, just no ceiling.
It's
We
fine.
had one of those at Boy Scout camp in Osceola, Missouri. It wasn't what I would call luxurious. Terrifying is more the word.
No, you want to wear your flip flops so your feet don't touch the ground.
Yeah.
Did they play the chicken song in the morning?
Of
for
course.
you guys
They
again?
did. Yes.
It's the best.
What is this now?
You don't know?
The main building. So there's like one real building in the whole premises or whatever. And there's like a little restaurant in the bottom. And so in the morning when the restaurant opens, they play this chicken song, which is an adorable little gimmick until you realize that it's like 6 minutes long. Like it goes on for a long time.
It's
like the
7
Stairway to
a.m.
Heaven of chicken songs.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, 7 a.m. every day.
Oof.
Is it just a chicken cock-a-doing or what is it? I don't remember.
It's like a 1950s style.
Is there words?
No, it's just chickens. Like
I was there.
Robert, you were doing it. Sing it for us, son.
That's all the further I can go with it.
I was there for I heard it 3 times. And honestly, I was so flabbergasted by it every time that I didn't even stop to like listen to to process what I was hearing. I was just like, what is this? And why is it still happening?
There is apparently it's only I can't find it. But there's
Is it on YouTube or something?
Yeah, that's on
It
YouTube.
has to be.
There is
God.
Yeah, it's a Hen House 5+2 in the Mood. It's from 1976. And it's only 2 minutes and 44 seconds long.
Huh.
1976, by the way, is when all pop culture stopped in that part of Oklahoma. So that fits.
That's fair. That's fair. I think that's a very accurate statement.
Yeah.
As a previous
I will
resident
say the
of
other thing that
Oklahoma.
was really cool about that race was we had another. Oh, we're listening to it. Can't hear it.
We can't hear it, Robbie.
Oh, there it is. It's at the bottom of the bottom of the phone.
Put it on the bottom. There you go.
Nothing.
Nah, it's not
There it
loud.
is.
enough.
Forget it.
I think your noise canceling is also chicken canceling.
Good.
Oh, darn.
I was say the
You
other
can find
cool
it
thing
on
about
YouTube
that.
if you want it.
The really cool thing about that race is so how it is kind of it's a pretty short track, but it's deceptively kind of tricky because there's a lot of like off camber and there's like Robbie said, there's a lot of elevation change. But fortunately there was a guy who came in who's from another podcast from Everyone Racers. He came in, Mental came in and drove with us. And it was awesome to have someone there who was like familiar with the track because none of us had ever been there before. So that helped a lot to like learn the track quickly.
Yeah, it's not like the most challenging of tracks, but it's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was super fun.
A friend of ours, Dalton Klein, the previous iteration of his Z06 C6 Corvette, that track is third gear only for him.
It's bullshit.
So we used to make fun of him. Oh, you drive an automatic Corvette on a racetrack. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. In your New Balances?
Yeah. Yeah, we were.
I'm allowed to make fun of people for New Balances. I wear New Balances, so it's fine. I can make those jokes.
I forgot we were talking about that before we started recording. We had, because it's a turbo car, and with the Haltech now, they can tune where the boost comes in, where the wastegate's open and stuff. So now they can have full boost from like 2,500 all the way to Redline, which is awesome. Because you just like, what you're going to get. Because before it was like old school turbo where like you'd put the accelerator pedal down and you're like, I'm going to get some amount of torque, no idea how much. And that might result in me going straight, might result in me spinning. I have no idea. So now at least it's predictable and you can kind of modulate with the throttle pedal. But we were like third and fourth gear for the entire track in the dry.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. You're probably running like what, 125, 126s?
Oh man, I don't remember. I don't think so. I don't think we were quite that fast.
Okay. Because like your horsepower would be similar to my 240 or what it was, and then but you're quite a bit lighter. So I figured.
Well, and we're Champ Cars street tires only. So
oh yeah, the last time I was there, I was on 40 treadwears.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you add a couple seconds to that then.
You guys run
like
like a 200
tread wear and
treadwear? Is that what you run on there? Is a 200 tread?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, because I know some people, in an effort to save money, will kind of move up that scale into, closer to like the 3 or 340 treadwear mark.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. They're running the hand cook. They're actually running a step more towards road than what I run on the Volkswagen here.
So probably the RS4, is that a Hankook?
Yeah, the RS4s are pretty common endurance tire.
And
they wear
a
like
really
iron.
popular endurance tire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they have,
seem
and
to
I
wear,
have the
like, iron
Ventus,
hoops.
whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
One, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I just, that sounds like fun. I would love to see that car on a track. I almost made it to an event with you guys, and then my work life ruined that idea. But someday, when you guys are back in this area again, we'll have to
I'll let you know.
get together.
I think they're going to do another. They were talking about maybe doing Joliet, so I think that's not too far from you guys.
I'll be there not this weekend, but next weekend for a Grid Life event.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know. I think they might be doing
Autobahn
Joliet, so I'll
Country
let you know.
Club.
Yep.
So that's a country club, which is the greatest idea ever, and we need more of those in the world.
That's the future.
Yeah.
Country club with racetrack.
Yep. That's
Yes.
I
It's literally
Screw
like a
the
golf course,
courses.
except it's a racetrack. It's great.
Yeah.
So place is really cool. There's a lot of really wild stuff in garages there. As you would expect, because there's a lot of rich people there.
You don't say.
But but it's super cool. The entry fee, like the buy-in, is kind of steep, but once you've gotten past that, the annual fees are really surprisingly not that bad, if I remember right. I mean, it's still way more than I can afford, but I'm sure I know lots of people who spend more than that on track day fees in a year.
Right.
Right on.
So I don't know what else we got.
I think before we keep moving, I'm going to interrupt and remind everybody to head over to techbosscompany.com. That's TEKBOSS company.com for all your pit scooters, ATVs, go-karts, all sorts of fun stuff. He's been doing a lot of stuff with a lot of our friends over at like the Mid of TT and like WRL. So if you see any of these Say Yeah scooters or the Mototechs, probably got them from actually Don here at TechBoss. So if you need to get your own pit scooter, or if you have kids that you want to have a electric dirt bike instead of a gas-powered dirt bike, or a go-kart or a four-wheeler, use the code 10tenths and get 10% off of these already reduced priced go-karts.
You're telling me I don't have to use an old bicycle to get around the pits anymore?
No, I'm telling you, you could get anything from a 250 watt little like scooter, like kind of like a Razor scooter, but it's electric powered.
Okay.
All the way up to the Mototech. Oh gosh, what's it called? It's the Mototech.
It's like 2,000 watts or something.
It's a 2,000 watt, 48 volt off road monster.
Okay.
It's
okay.
so
I'm in.
And it's
what's the website again?
TEKBOSS company.com. Techboss Company.
Okay. And promo code 10tenths.
Yep, 10% off. And that's actually a pretty good promo considering how the best scooter is $869.
Snap.
And they have one available in stock for pickup right now.
Way to move some units, Dave.
we haven't introduced ads to our or sponsors to our podcast yet because no one wants to be a sponsor on our show.
Kind of happens by accident.
Yeah, all of ours just kind of fluidly happened. It's pretty awesome. Like,
it is. Yeah.
And then we know Don from previous long-term friendships, so like we know that anything he touches turns to gold. So we're just kind of like riding that coattail.
Nice.
So everybody wins here. But
He's that friend that you have that like he makes a deal and you're like, there's no way he's coming out on top. Like, there's just no way. And then he'll like double his money.
Synergy.
I have a friend like that, and I always used to give him a hard time about like, how do you? I was always like, how do you just always fall ass backwards into a pile of money? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
Every time.
And I've been friends with this kid since college, and it's still obnoxiously annoying how lucky he gets. So, yeah.
No,
he's a time.
Yeah,
to say the
well,
least.
you have us on your car show.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Okay.
So,
all right.
let's see. I don't know. You guys, you brought a bunch of stuff to the show, which I really appreciate.
We didn't know what you'd want to talk about.
Everything, man. We got all night.
Okay.
We'll marathon this.
Like a lot of times when we dive into this stuff, we just kind of see what happens.
Okay. Let's get weird. Let's do it.
Yes.
I'm really enjoying watching Ian's name jump around the Google Drive.
Yeah, his ADD scrolling. Yeah,
yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot you guys could see that. I do that.
Yeah,
It's been talked about before, and I'm really happy to see it with my own eyes now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna really try to stop doing that.
Yeah, sit on your hands, Ian.
So you're sitting in the Google Doc, and he's just sitting there scrolling through it.
Yeah, you can
up
just
and
see
down,
his name bouncing up and down.
His cursor.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he gets antsy.
Yeah.
So
That's
I enjoy
funny.
that. But
so that's one thing that we do on our show is that I distract Dave with my incessant mouse clicking. But we also play a game called FMK Cars, and I brought one for Robbie to play if you guys are amenable to that.
absolutely.
All right, so we've kind of done this in the past. So FMK would be fuck, marry, kill, with cars. Usually it's with women, which is like super.
Yeah, but we don't play with people because we're not gross.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're adults here, and we're professionals. We talk about cars.
Yes.
Correct.
Right.
And we lose our notepad where we have it written down. No, I found it. It's good. Okay. So we gave Adam this same one when he came on our show a few weeks ago.
Are there pictures?
Now, since we're here, I'm going to give it to you. Okay. So this one is called, and I like to give mine titles. They call him Old TenTenths Tennyson the 10th. 10th generation cars with a tenor twist. So in honor of being on the TenTenths podcast.
All right.
I said the word 10 a bunch of times. Check. All right. The first one is a 10th generation Ford F-150.
What is that?
There is a catch.
Is that a new generation? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
There's
That
30
could be
generations,
70
right?
years ago
So-
or today.
Robbie, that's the same generation as the Lightning from Fast and the Furious.
So like 01. Okay.
Yeah, like
the
early
flare
2000s.
side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've
What's
lost
the catch with that one?
The catch is you can spec it any way you like, except it may not be a Lightning.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Adam said. However, you must load and then unload 10 sheets of plywood at either end of your journey. So going out of your house in the morning, you got to load up 10 sheets of plywood. And then whenever you get to where you're going, you got to unload the sheets of plywood.
Every time I drive this vehicle?
Huh?
Every time I drive this vehicle?
Yes.
Man,
You're going to get swole with plywood CrossFit, bro.
I was thinking the same thing. My arms are going to be so jacked. My veins
They're
are
going to call you
out.
Tillamook because you're going to be shredded.
Exactly. Exactly.
That was awful. You've been infected by Adam's New Balance sneakers.
I'm fine with this. That's great.
Okay.
Right.
Tillamook is a cheese.
We got it. Thank you. Thanks, Dad. All right. All right. So the next one, we have fun, is the 10th generation Civic, which is the current one.
Oh.
You get the base sedan 2-liter.
Don't sound so
With a
disappointed,
manual.
Robbie.
You get a manual.
It's got a manual.
You must eat 10 peeps on every journey.
Marshmallow Peeps, where do you stand?
Love them, dude. I have a sweet tooth, man.
What is this show? What is happening in Iowa? Well, how do you both like peeps? I've never
Robbie-
met two people who like peeps.
Robbie is much like Dave in the fact that if it's got sugar in it,
I'm in.
Robbie's going to eat it.
Dude,
Yeah.
when I was at the truck stop we'll talk about that later, but when I was at the truck stop last weekend, I bought Jelly Belly sours, jumped in the car, started eating them on the way home, and I was so pissed. I bought the sugar-free kind, and they taste like shit. I was so mad. So mad. I threw the
How many
whole
did
bag
you
away.
eat?
Like 3. I threw the whole bag away.
I thought you were going to be like, I finished them.
No.
I was
I'm
hoping
shocked he didn't, honestly.
I ate all of them.
Nope.
Angry. I've done that before. Like, this is terrible.
Yeah, cold French fries, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it. Is that a Gaffigan bit? But I'm eating them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the last one is the 10th generation Chevy Suburban, which I believe is the one, not the current one.
It's like one or two back, right?
Right.
That was like the best looking one.
10th generation is I'm definitely not looking on Wikipedia right now. Also,
I think
early.
your truck is that same generation as a Suburban.
Oh, you have do you still have the Avalanche?
No, I got an 18 Silverado.
18.
It's
That's
the
right. That's right.
2007 to 2014 is the 10th gen.
Yeah, so I've been the same as the Avalanche was.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
So I'm going to cheat on your behalf and give you the 6.2 liter Yukon XL, since it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to do any performance mods you want. However,
okay.
The catch is that you and Adam must record an episode during every journey. Also, there are 10 parakeets loose in the car.
Do I have to have Adam with me, or can I do it via Zoom?
No, he has to be with you.
We never get that done. I never get to drive anywhere.
Let's just say he magically appeared, right? Because the work is not in the scheduling. The work is in the
He'll be next to you polishing fiber or whatever that is.
Polishing fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Polishing his New Balances.
God. So I would have to, man.
I'm so excited because this is the first time we get to really compare two people.
Right.
Because I wrote down your answers.
Nice. Way to
I
data
actually had to
log
watch
in.
my own show to do that.
I hate doing that. I hate listening to my own show.
It's horrendous, right?
Every year we do the predictions episode, and we never fucking write them down. So I always have to go back and re-listen to the previous year. I'm like, man, I made that prediction. Great. Now I got to eat my words
And re-listen to the episode.
and listen to myself talk for an hour. So FMK for the F-150, where I can get swole. The Honda Civic,
where you're not going to get swole.
Yeah,
well, you'll swell, but not.
What was the stipulation?
Not the way you're.
What was the stipulation on that?
Peeps. You get 10
peeps.
Oh yeah.
He just perks right up.
All right.
It's like a little bit of sunshine just beamed on him.
All right, so I would kill the Suburban because I don't want that many birds. I would rent or fuck the F-150, but I would marry the Honda Civic and the Peeps.
Wow.
Because that's convenient.
Wow. You guys had completely different answers.
I like that that Robert is stopping to get Peeps anyway. So he's just like, this is just what I do normally.
Nice.
It saves me a stop every day.
I just hop in the car and the Peeps are already there.
It just shows up.
And it gets like 60 miles to the gallon. This is great.
Yeah.
What a great daily driver.
So they answered completely opposite, Ian?
Yeah. So Adam killed the F-150.
Yeah.
Married the Civic. Oh, no, you guys both married the Civic.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, you both married the Civic.
Peeps
okay, and he
Peeps aren't that bad.
But he effed the Suburban, and you, unfortunately, crushed the car with Adam in it, which is...
No, he's not in it while we crush it.
Oh, yeah, no, he is.
No, the Zoom call is going, but...
I figured...
just a laptop with his face. Yeah.
I figured a bird episode would be a real good tie-in with our favorite joke, Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good episode. Because they're not real.
Yeah.
Dang. I see I'm sitting there worried about bird poop, and you're like, but the bird poop's not real. Everybody knows that. That's a robot.
We went over this.
Yeah. This is where Ian and I tap out of the conversation. Wow.
But you don't buy into
you're going to see his
conspiracy
cursor scrolling a lot in a second.
Not buying into the conspiracy theory.
He's on the outside.
I think I said when Adam explained it on our show, I said, it is really pretty brilliant to design a surveillance system that is catastrophically expensive, but also can't be defeated unless the target goes inside.
That's what you think.
Yeah, but you just said that I had to have 10 birds in there, so I have 10 cameras watching me the whole time. You see how?
Or is it 20 cameras? Do they have one in each eye?
Yeah, 20 cameras.
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right.
I just assume birds are like lizards and their eyes can go in opposite directions.
Well, when they're drones, they can. They can do whatever they want. You kidding
Oh
me?
man, Ian, how do we keep getting sucked into this stuff?
I've no idea.
You brought
Wake
it
up,
up.
sheeple.
You brought it up.
A couple of weeks ago, I did a live stream broadcast for all of the Time Attack at the Gingerman event for Grid Life, and they have like the world's craziest drone pilots there.
Those
like
FPV drone guys
Yeah.
that just like follow the cars are amazing.
they'll chase the cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we actually talked about how birds are drones in that. I brought it up in the live stream.
Good. I like that. That's canon. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just-
there are more than one. There's more than one person who listens to this very show that has purchased a birdsaren'treal.com t-shirt.
My,
I also like that there's a real possibility that there's going to be like, there's every once in a while, there's like those documentaries about people who believe in conspiracy theories or whatever. And it's going to be like, well, how did you get radicalized? And they're like, well, there's this car show.
right.
It's gonna be a real journey.
Two dashing hosts really pulled me in.
that's my biggest fear is that people are going to think I'm dead serious.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he doesn't. He seriously believes that the birds aren't real. No, he does. He said it on his show.
Yep. Yeah.
Australia doesn't exist.
Yep.
The world is flat. Obviously, all of the Mandela Effect things are just proof that we're living in the Matrix. These are all things we've covered in the
Yep.
past.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Berenstein Bears.
Yeah.
Still really messes with my mind.
Yep.
Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile. Yeah. Oscar Mayer
So-
hot dogs. Yeah.
Wait, what is that one?
Oscar Mayer, Meyer, but it's Mayer or something. It's a Mandela Effect one.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
We named a show Mandela Effect once because like right at the very end we talked about it for like 5 minutes and we just pick random things for titles, and
Sure.
that show has a significantly larger number of YouTube views on it.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
there's
you're
a
gonna get
bunch of
that.
comments about like, what is this shit? They don't even talk about it. Just a bunch of idiots talking about cars. Like, you must be new here.
Uh-huh.
It's got the most.
One of our early episodes had the word feet in the title. That episode got a bunch of downloads from very disappointed foot fetish enthusiasts.
Yep.
Yeah, like a significant, I was like, what is up with these downloads? Oh, that title has feet in it. Wow. Uh-huh.
Yep.
The depravity of that is
That's amazing.
wow.
Hey, everybody's got their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it gets me a download, then
Right? I'll take them numbers.
yeah, it gets me a download. It's fine.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I'm a little bit surprised Robbie didn't marry the plywood thing because that just seems like a thing Robbie would do.
It crossed my mind because that's
Plus, it's so
just a great way to
practical.
stay in shape. Yeah,
Like the F-150 is very practical.
but it's not
and-
though. It's not practical because it
Because
is
it's
full of plywood.
Also, I mean, like nowadays, you're a millionaire if you have 10 sheets of plywood,
That's
right?
fair.
Like 10
Yeah,
sheets of
Robbie has
OSB,
that kind of-
son. You might as
Robbie
well
has-
have that instead of GameStop stock.
Yeah, exactly.
Robbie has a
Come on.
race car. He doesn't have that kind of disposable income.
No, man, that shit's gone. It's just gone.
Yeah,
So-
true.
Just
True. Maybe you could sell the plywood every day.
yeah, but then you got to buy more to fill it back up. It's just a horrible
It's a
cycle.
vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This vicious cycle is presented by Factory Fabrication. FactoryFabrication.com. If you need to get caged or railed, head over to FactoryFabrication.com. If you need custom furniture or a handrail or a table or a chair or a bookshelf or a tire rack for inside your trailer or shop or anything made out of metal or wood, Booney can hook you up. And if you tell him Adam sent you, he'll send you away. But if you tell him Robert sent you, he'll hook you up with the best friend price. FactoryFabrication.com.
That's awesome. I need some built-ins for my new house. I need some built-ins around a fireplace. Could they do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He does all sorts of stuff like that. Like there's a lot of these like really nice houses kind of out in my area and then like up in like the really expensive area in Des Moines. And he'll show me pictures of like these ridiculous railings that people are putting in their houses. And It's awesome. Yeah.
I've looked at like curved wooden hand railings before and thought like the person that did that is better at their craft than I will ever be at anything I will ever do in my entire life. Like,
yes.
The thing I am at the best at, I have no idea what it is, pales in comparison to their woodworking skills, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Podcasting.
That's not the answer.
Yeah. Yeah. For all of our sakes.
What I need done, and maybe he can give me a quote after being on the show, but what I need is for this car right here, I need to carry around a set of ramps to go up and over obstacles in the road so I don't destroy my oil pan, which is right there.
Like a speed racer, like automatic ramp deployment.
It could just be on the roof and I could just have it a set on either end of the obstacle, like say like a manhole cover or a picture of a manhole cover
or a leaf.
I had a GI Joe truck like that had like a little bridge on the top of it when I was a kid, right? Remember that one?
That's what I need.
Yeah.
That's exactly
okay.
He could hook you up, man.
I think I have the solution to your woes there, actually.
What's that?
So there's a company called Airlift Performance that builds
bag it, Ian.
but they build a coilover airbag combination system that there's a guy that they sponsor who time attacks a Subaru, and he's quite successful with it. It's actually a really fast car. The car handles really well.
And he can hard park it.
When he gets off the track, he just drops it down on the ground.
I love that so much. I need to own a bagged something at some point.
Honestly, I would love to have that just for like to have like winter mode, you know, so like I put my winter tires up and I high ride, you know, or like when I got my car nearly stuck in this field that it's in right here, I can like get home and stuff.
Oh man, they make one for the R32.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh really?
They do.
What's the name? What's the name of this website? Who's this vendor?
Oh, they're not that bad. Airliftperformance.com.
Can we guess?
$1,800.
Ah, you beat me.
Oh,
that's not bad at all.
That's reasonable.
That's pretty minimal.
the whole system?
How about a 2008 Lexus LS? Let's hard park that mammer jammer.
That would work.
That,
yeah,
that would be the best.
Yeah, I got to do something with that car.
It's this car down here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that comes with any parts whatsoever. That might just literally be the coilover.
You get the idea of suspension.
I don't think that's even with a compressor.
Oh.
So I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yeah, all right. Huh.
Okay. Well, next idea.
All right, Shark Tank. What else you got?
Swinging a miss on that one.
Uh-huh.
So, Dave, I have some Saab related questions.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's do it.
Primarily, why?
Yeah. A lot of people ask. Yeah.
Not that I have any room to talk.
Right.
And also, don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good Saab, but it's a strange car to really focus in on and love them as much as you do. Is there something like, so you've had two, am I correct?
I've had three total. One was a track car that never got off the ground. Okay. Right. And it served as a parts car for my then daily driver, aka Dusty Rusty,
which was a
1997 turbo. It was the 900 at that time. It was the same as the 93. They call it the NG 900.
So did you fall into that car, or did you seek that car out?
I did. I had a friend of mine that was looking to get rid of it on the cheap because it had failed him and his family way too many times. The last thing that bit him was, and he's the original owner. I think I still have the window sticker from the dealer somewhere. It failed him on his way to the airport to fly out for a work-related thing. Fuel pump died on the highway. And so he's someone who has issues with anger. So I'm surprised he didn't punch it all the way down I-70 himself. This is someone who's broken his hand punching a soda machine that took his money. Not kidding. Yeah. So I decided to buy a Saab from him. I always thought Saabs were cool. I remember being a kid sitting in them at the auto shows in Kansas City, and thinking like, oh, this is different. Like, this is kind of weird. And I can picture myself like with the windows down and a scarf on. Like, I don't know what this is, but I like the whole vibe, And I was always the guy that like knew so much about cars, but then just had like the worst cars and never did anything with cars. Right. I had a couple Nissan pickup trucks when I was growing up. I had a really shitty Toyota Camry for a while, like I just never really did anything. And then I got this Saab and it was like, oh, it's a 2-liter turbo manual. Like there actually is a little bit of an aftermarket for this and tons of DIY stuff. Like I went nuts. And it was at a period of time in my life where I had to do all the work myself to save money. Like I didn't have the income to outsource that stuff.
Wait, that's an option?
What's that?
That's an option?
Yeah, it is.
No.
It is an option.
No.
It is an option. Yeah. Not one that I like taking, as you'll see from some of the other pictures that I gave you. Right. But so I just I dove in headfirst into this dumb front wheel drive car with running at one point it was running 22 pounds of boost. It had almost 300 horsepower and it was on stock suspension. Everyone, stock suspension and brakes is the exact opposite of how you should modify a car. And I loved it and I miss it so much. My wife and I were rear-ended while we were in it by two kids that were on their way to two young girls that were on their way to homecoming. And they popped us with a Toyota Highlander so hard that we were stopped. They probably hit us at about 30, 35 miles an hour. The sunroof cover slid all the way back. And walked away perfectly fine, sore necks. And so I don't know. Just really, really fell in love with that car for a lot of reasons,
So I love that you're like, my friend who has this car, he and his family have had terrible luck with it. It's been a really unreliable car for them.
Yep.
But I'm going to turn this around.
Yep.
And I'm going to daily drive this.
I'm going to daily, and I'm going to modify it. Right.
That's around by turning up the boost on it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of totally nonsensical hope that I love.
Right. I had so many people just sup me on the road because of the turbo noises it would make. It was just fun. It put a smile on my face, and it was like a little donkish because I had the Vigan 17-inch wheels on it. So it rode a little higher than it should have. And it was just funny. It was just awesome. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So then peak Saab to me is the 1999 3-door lightning blue Vigan, like you see in Ian's background picture here. And in my opinion, that is the best thing Saab has ever made, ever will make. It's the coolest goddamn thing. I love it so much. It's like I'm such a late 90s, early 2000s kid. I listened to Chemical Brothers constantly. Like all that stuff is just ingrained into my system. And that Vigan is just it, man. And so one popped up on Craigslist. I bought it and I made a lifelong friend with this wacky Mainer that sold it to me. His name is Peter and he's a goddamn treat of a human being. Going
karting with him in a couple of days. Actually.
Yeah. He's just an insane, hilarious person, the kindest heart that you'll ever see. And he sold me his Vigan. And I had it for a couple of years. It was super rusty because it came from Maine. And then I decided, since it could never be restored or anything like that, it was the rust monster was really getting into it. I'm finding out I have way more in common with your father than I would ever like to admit. I decided to track it. And so, I stripped it out and, Peter had done some great mods to it. It wasn't crazy, but just within the last 2 months, Ian, I had it at a track day after sinking way too much money into it. And it spun a rod bearing. And so the engine was bye-bye.
Ugh.
Yeah. And then after that, it turns out that the front main seal just blew out of the front of the engine as well. So,
Oh, really? I didn't know that part of it.
Yep. So bye-bye Vigan. Yeah.
Was that, do you think that was cause or effect?
I don't know. 213,000 miles on that thing. Original engine and transmission.
That's a lot of miles for a track car.
Yes. Yeah. And I knew it was going to end at some point. Right. And so it's like this thing, like Rust is going to get this thing, right? Sometime a strut is going to pop through like a strut tower,
Yep.
And I'm going to drive home like this, right, from the track, but I didn't think it would be this soon. And it's really sad.
I do love the impulse of like discovering rust on a car and thinking to yourself, wow, the structural integrity of this thing is really in question. You know what we need to do?
Put it on the racetrack. Yeah, let's put it through way more stress than it would ever meet on the street. Right. Yeah. Also, you've seen me drive on a track, Ian. Do I even really stress it more than I do on the road?
I mean, in different ways, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so that actually brings up another thing I wanted to talk with Dave about on the show, because Dave, like but I think more so Dave than me even, has like very little interest in the idea of competition driving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is interesting to me because, I spend a lot of time at track events, like an absurd amount of time at track events, frankly. And I've been on track once in my life and I really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But most of the time that I show up at an event, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything because I'm not on the track. And I know that there's a lot of people, I think Robbie himself included, that don't understand that.
No, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because I think between Ian and I, Ian is absolutely the driver. I feel like I have some driving talent. I think Ian has a bigger slice of pie than I do when it comes to that. Right. Karting, like objectively, he is able to adapt to different carts faster and pick them up and gain time faster than I can. Like he just can. Ian, you can't argue facts.
He hates hearing that.
Yes. He's a fantastic driver. I think I have some amount of talent, right? But like when I was growing up, I always liked tennis and like the kind of sports that you would just kind of play where it was just you, right? And so like part of like self-competition is really the thing that I kind of like. So like time trial, karting, time attack, like autocross, that kind of thing where you're not wheel to wheel, but you're like competing against yourself, like to the degree that you would like to do so. Like that's really where I feel comfortable. And then also like finding out that like I love being in a pit crew. I love being a freaking den mother to like a bunch of people.
When I did the aforementioned champ car race that we talked about a little bit ago, that's what I was. I was just there as a crew member.
Yeah.
Spent zero time on the track.
Yeah.
Spent most of the time sitting in a lawn chair with the radio in my ear.
Yeah.
Coaching the driver through what needed to be happening, keeping him up to date on, how far he was behind this car and ahead of that car and doing the math to figure out where we needed to be and stuff like that. And like, I thoroughly enjoyed that weekend so much. Like it's something I would love to do again. Unfortunately that car, we never got to go to, I never got to go to another race with that group.
You weren't asked back.
No, it's not that. They went to another race that I had some other commitment and wasn't able to go, and then that team kind of fell apart, as I think a lot of endurance teams tend to do.
Sure,
because team racing has got to be the most difficult thing you can possibly choose,
and you all have to be exactly on the same page,
right,
or it does not work.
And I can't imagine like with Ian and his dad and his uncles, like that family dynamic. Part of me thinks it would help, and part of me thinks it would be the worst.
Oh, that they brought a crew manager in.
Yeah.
Right?
So when they first started, the first race I did with them was at Road America in probably 2014 or 15.
We had started the podcast. We were pretty green, and you went, because I think it was an early episode with the title "Ian now owns fireproof underpants" or something like that.
Yes, that's right. So it would have been, I don't know, whenever that was. Oh, it would have been 2015. Yeah. So it was like October 2015.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first one I did, it was like my dad, my uncle, my cousin was in it too. We were the 4 drivers. So it was all family. And our average pit stop was like 15 minutes long, which is not good, right? Like
you're not supposed to
be 5 minutes.
That way. Yeah.
Right.
The way that the Champ Car rules work, it's supposed to be 5 minutes pit stops, and that's it. And our just average pit stop for just fueling and driver change was like 15 minutes long. And it was just because everyone was arguing, because we're all family members, and like, so the car would pull up to the pit, and then we would start arguing about like who's going to do what,
and tire pressure, and
I mean, just everything, every single thing. And so I think, my dad, to his credit, like realized that is not ideal for winning a race. It doesn't matter how fast the car goes if you're sitting in the pits for, 20 laps at a time. So he brought in a someone with like professional racing experience to be the crew chief. And from the moment the car comes off the trailer to the moment it goes on, it's his car. His name is Dwayne, and he basically just like calls the shots. And it's like so important to have that like single source of truth on a race weekend, because otherwise you end up arguing about dumb shit that doesn't really matter.
Also, I think that's another example of somebody that can, like, that is absolutely Dwayne's calling, right? Like, he is really, really good at it, right?
Yeah.
And it's another example of somebody that is like adjacent to the track, right? Adjacent to driving, that is not driving, that is still like really like, that's what they're there for, right? And like, as automotive enthusiasts, like I certainly want to get in front of kind of the criticism that you're not like a real automotive enthusiast unless you drive, right? Unless you're like wheel to wheel driving, right? And we know that that's not true, Well, and I would also argue that like his ability to listen to 4 different people describe the 4 different decidedly amateur drivers, by the way, describe how the car feels, and then make like setup changes that make a positive difference that's an amazing car skill to have. Suspension setup shit is crazy.
It's voodoo.
It's a total rabbit hole that you could go down, right? And to be able to digest not what you're feeling in the car, but like by proxy what you're feeling in the car, that's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah.
I would imagine that he already has an idea where he's going to take it before he even asks you that question.
Could be.
And he just fine tunes it from there. Someone who's really good with that stuff, like they can watch it and see like, okay, this car's understeering mid corner and I already know what I got to do to fix this. I just need confirmation that that's what's happening.
Right.
People that have that intuition are pretty nuts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Probably wants that guy's phone number.
I do. I think that guy could help me a lot.
Yeah. No, he's a true engineer.
Sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
He really is. Yeah.
Robbie just finished his first solo wheel-to-wheel race weekend here just a couple weeks ago, and
it was the best.
Last time we talked, he was still riding that high pretty well.
I'm still riding that high.
Still,
yeah. Just so we're perfectly clear.
This just in: Robert is still riding that high.
I'm still
was
high.
Was it SCCA or NASA or what?
Grid Life GLTC.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he compared it to his first time having sex, if that tells you anything about how he felt about it. So
I'm still excited about it 2 weeks later. Just like the first time I had sex.
I was going to say, it only lasted 4.5 seconds.
And you've told all your friends about it, and it was over too fast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Salt and Pepper Push It was playing in the background.
Yeah. It was
The difference is he didn't finish first this time.
That's true.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. How long have you had that one loaded up?
He's been loading that one up for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
I just had to bring it back so that I could get that burn in this week because I didn't think about it.
I like
last
that
week.
cyclical burn. Yeah, that's the sprinkler burn that's going to come back around.
It's what people keep coming back to the podcast for. What's he going to say? What ridiculous thing is he going to say this week that's going to get him in trouble?
I like that. I like that. No wonder you want to keep him remote.
I don't, though. It's so much better when he's here.
Yeah,
it really is. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I just, it's amazing to me how many people are just absolutely floored when I go to an event and they're like, "Oh, are you driving this weekend?" Like, nope. And I really don't. I'm not that upset about it, you know. Before I got convinced to do this live stream stuff that I've ended up doing, which, you know, I'm not poo-pooing by any way. I really enjoy doing it, but I was really looking forward to this season and spending a lot of time kind of trying to help a few of my friends improve, you know, throughout the weekend, every weekend that we were going in their time attack programs. And I was really looking forward to essentially being the crew chief for these guys. And it's kind of weird to me because some people are so negative towards that attitude. And I think they don't realize you need that guy too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You definitely do.
The automotive enthusiasm takes all shapes and forms, right? You can be an automotive enthusiast and have an automatic transmission. You can be a racing enthusiast and have the shittiest Toyota Camry that would never be allowed near a racetrack, right? The kind of inward criticism or kind of self-facing criticism of the automotive community is way overly harsh sometimes. And I think one thing that Yin and I like to do on our show is we like to call that shit out, right? You know? Yeah, that's go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say too, that I think that's one thing that the grassroots enthusiasts or endurance stuff has really improved upon is just the feel of that paddock. I don't think you would get that attitude at a Lemons race or a Champ Car race because it's such just it feels like a weekend long cookout, you know, everyone's
it's family.
There.
It's just a bunch of people hanging out, enjoying, you know, after the track went cold that night that we were there in Brainerd, a lot of people kind of went off to their hotels, but the ones that stayed at the campground, you know, we all hung out, we intermingled, we talked. It was a really enjoyable week or evening after that racing, you know. Obviously we're all exhausted and we turned in early, but and that's one of the big things about the Grid Life events that we go to all the time is it's just as much fun off the track as it is on because of the people.
Yeah.
So that is fun, though.
Robert, you've done time attack stuff, right? I've always been curious about what those paddocks are like. Are they as dick measury as I imagine them to be, or are they pretty chill?
More often than not, we have our time trials group is usually with the club racing group with the SCCA, and there are two distinct different paddocks. The time trials group is very similar to what you would describe for the Lemons race or Grid Life, where it is just everyone's kind of hanging out. We all paddock together. We got grills going. You know, it's most people bring a bunch of food and we can share. And most people just literally hang out all weekend in that group. But the club racers, everyone goes to their separate areas. They don't intermingle. They're not friends.
Right.
So that attitude of every single person on track here is my enemy, I hate that. That's why when I was I'm going to do wheel to wheel, I'm going to start at GLTC. I don't care if I'm not competitive, because that's the crowd I want to be around, because I'm in a group chat with every single driver. On if I need to talk to any driver, I can just shoot them a message. And after my first race, I think I had 10 drivers add me on Facebook that were friends now. Yeah. So it's just that mentality of I'm racing my friends. So if something goes wrong, we're not going to hate each other and fight about it. We're going to talk about it and figure out what went wrong.
Yeah, you're going to make sure each other's okay, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
'Cause last week I made a comment like this. I saw somebody locked up their tires behind me, and my first thought was, oh shit, what did I do wrong? And he listened to the show and then sent me a message. Hey, no, man, it wasn't your fault. The ABS module faulted out. It was my fault. It was just kind of one of those things my first instinct was, oh shit, I ruined his race or his practice or whatever it was. So it's just that mentality of all one team, all one family. Like we all want to finish this race together. You know, obviously we all want to be at the front, but not at the expense of someone else.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because I think a lot of people, when they get into racing and stuff, they like look at the rules to figure out like what class they're going to be in and stuff. But that's also an important point, is to like figure out what culture you're going to.
There you go.
I think that's even more important, frankly.
Yeah, because like you're going to need to borrow a fucking 10 mil socket or whatever,
or an oil pan, like, just something silly that you don't think you're going to need.
Yeah. I mean, I know, we've gone begging for bolts and all sorts of weird shit that happened. I remember when we were at Road America and we had an alternator fall off, or alternator fail. It actually did fall off because it was actually the mounting point that broke.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing. There was lumber involved by the end of it to get it to stay on. But, and it turns out that rural Wisconsin doesn't have a ton of alternators for 1987 Maseratis by turbos laying around.
Don't say.
Yeah. So there was a lot of like begging for parts.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. A Mazda what?
Is that a small block in it?
Yeah.
Be better if it did.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So yeah, I get that. Like you want to be with a friendly crowd.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I wanted to talk about that part. It's
sure.
cool to me. Like, I just wanted you to know, Dave, you're not alone.
Oh no, yeah. Like I don't watch F1. I don't watch any racing. I don't watch any sports. Like it's just not my thing, right? But like when I was at that race at Road America with Ian, the one that we met you guys on the way out, right? Like I have never been so invested in racing. Right. Because like it was the second day, we were doing well. Ian, did we win that day? I can't remember. Maybe we won the class.
Yeah, I think.
Or second in the class. I can't remember. Yeah. I think there was a Toyota Supra that was messing us up. But yeah. But like I was like on the lap timer, looking at like I was in, more in than I've ever been in racing or sports, like ever. And here I'm not driving. I'm just the fuel guy, right? Wearing fireproof underpants, all fired up about what's going on,
Most importantly, because we were in Wisconsin, Dave brought his own coffee maker.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Christ. Such a lifesaver. Like that, the coffee maker at the racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
My joke about Wisconsin coffee is that it's hot water and someone in the next room over just went, coffee, and that's how they make coffee in Wisconsin.
I didn't believe Ian when he told me how bad it was going to be, but I have a little espresso maker, an espresso pixie that I take everywhere with me, and we had a trackside man pulling shots of espresso, and it was
such a lifesaver, man.
Right?
That's just not a life I live.
That's worth having. That's not
even a thing that registers in my head as like a thing I need.
That's because you go to the gas station and get a 20 ounce of or 64 ounce of Rooster Booster, whereas everyone else is having coffee in the morning.
Rooster Booster, I love it. Yeah.
So the QTs here, which is like I don't know, I know they're based in Oklahoma City. I don't know how much reach they have, but I don't know if you guys have QTs or not.
I used to live in Oklahoma.
Quick Trip. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So they sell they sell their own branded energy drink called Rooster Booster, and you can.
Yeah, I'm all about that store brand. Give me that Aldi energy drink,
and you can get it on the fountain.
Yeah, what I want is the Hy-Vee energy drink.
That's how I get through a lot of my stupid work hours. Is I'll buy like a gigantic 64 ounce cup of that and just
shake.
Yeah.
So I've been in a lot of QTs, and I'm assuming that their slogan is Rooster Booster gives you herpes.
I mean, it's a risky take, but
the problem is it's actually delicious.
Is it?
It tastes like a carbonated Kool-Aid.
Oh. I moved away from Missouri in the year 2000, so we had year 2000 quick trips there. Right? Came to Denver, no quick trips here. Went back to Kansas City at some point, right? And it seemed like Quick Trip had gotten like this crazy remodel, and like they always had an insane soda fountain, but it was like all this like Quick Trip stuff, and like somebody like just did up Quick Trip while I was gone, and I wish we had him here.
Yeah. They drank some Rooster Brewster, and they just had a bunch of energy, and they were like, "Let's fix this."
What I love is that so you've got like 30 different kinds of soda across the middle, right? And then they have crushed ice and cubed ice, which is apparently really important to some people. But then they'll have like this thing in the middle where you can like add different syrup flavors.
Oh yeah.
So like
a vanilla
like,
Mr. Pibb is the
like
jam.
if your code red isn't code ready enough, there's cherry flavoring, right? Well, one of them is just energy.
Just energy flavor.
Yeah. Like I don't know what it actually is supposed to taste like.
Terry Cruz's sweat.
Obviously you just hit that button. Just hit that button over and over. Like, all right, now we're ready to rock.
Okay.
I did not realize that was the thing.
I like to think that I really hope that it's like the push to walk button at the crosswalk where it's not actually attached to anything.
Right.
It's just 100% like placebo effect.
Yeah.
Nice.
So do you guys, we're going to talk about gas stations for a minute because it's a thing we do here.
Okay.
Do you guys have like these fancy gas stations like we do where like you can go into them and like actually get semi-reasonable food out of these places?
They're few and far between
like
in Denver.
The best you're going to get is a roller grill and a bag of chips.
Mainly the latter through most of Denver, but like we've got like Johnson's Corner up on 25. Like, there's some kind of larger truck stop places that have some decent, passable food and cinnamon rolls. And
I essentially live on Casey's and Quick Star.
Yeah.
Which I think Ian might be semi-familiar with Quick Star, being that they're from Wisconsin now.
I've seen them before. I don't think I've ever been in one.
They call them Quick Trips in Wisconsin, but we already have Quick Trips here, so they rebranded to Quick Star. Quick with a W. QWIK. It's terrible.
No, we just have a bunch of come and goes out here.
Oh,
that's big
the
here.
corporate office here in Des Moines.
Okay.
So great name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just wish you'd stay.
I used to have a t-shirt that I had.
Just like Robbie's first wheel to wheel event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Just full circle here.
I used to have a t-shirt that said come and go on it, and I would wear that in places that they don't have come and goes, and people would always ask me about it.
Yeah.
So
They have to sell the shit out of those shirts.
Right.
and their lighters. They have logoed lighters there. They sell the shit out of those too.
There's like a really great Patton Oswalt bit about the first like non-ironic visitors to the Pabst Blue Ribbon brewery. That's what I think about when I want the come and go t-shirts.
Yep.
Yeah. Now Denver's missing on some gas station culture. We could, I still I have family back in Pennsylvania, and so Sheetz
is life over there.
Yeah, I love. I've had more Sheetz hot dogs, than anybody else in Denver. I could probably say, yeah.
I kind of hate how much of a gas station connoisseur I am at this point. It's really kind of a disappointment, but it is what it is.
I really do wish that we had gas stations that had actual coffee in them. Because it's either gas station coffee, which is objectively fucking awful, or Starbucks, which is also objectively awful. So there's never good coffee in a gas station. It drives me crazy.
I don't know what defines good coffee for you, I guess.
It doesn't taste like feet.
Your downloads are going to be great now.
Does someone say
keyword feet?
Uh-huh.
Do we name it that then? Do we call it Doesn't Taste Like Feet? Is that the name of the show?
Yeah.
I'm
the
good
foot Mandela Effect. Look at the downloads.
So
amazing.
I don't even know how long we're into this for. Dave brought a license plate game.
Yep, I'm going to jump in before we do that, actually.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's do it.
Got to remind everyone to head over to Petrobox, mypetrobox.com. Got to get my plugs in. It's about that time of the month where the Petrobox shows up. You can get your monthly subscription of car care products, shirts, tools, all sorts of cool, fun stuff. And mine should be being delivered probably by the time this airs. And if you haven't signed up, you have 28 days and 20 hours. Well, minus 2 or 3 days, depending on when the it's released. Realizing this is not live.
Shit.
So then you have time to sign up for August's box, which, spoiler alert, I have beat them down so that if you get the August box, there is a awesome treat in there for all of everyone. I've talked about it many times. You already know what I'm talking about. Sign up for the Petra box.
Robbie. Seriously.
Use the code.
Problem.
Use the code TTP15, 15% off that box. Or anything in the store.
I want to know what the treat
What's
is.
the item? What's the
I wanna know
treat?
what it is.
I don't want to say it though because I'm giving. Because
Okay.
I don't know if they're
Okay.
going to appreciate it if I just give it away.
Literally everybody knows. There's nobody who's listening to this like, what could he possibly be talking about?
Did you get a birds aren't real into the
No,
Petra
God,
box?
no. It's supposedly I talked them into finally putting Eagle Grit, the hand cleaner, back into the box. Because it's
If you've never, so I'm sure you guys have used Gojo, right?
or like that
Sure,
lava,
and
lava.
yeah, orange
Right,
clean
the-
Gojo.
Yeah, the gritty stuff.
This is-
Eagle Grit is like Gojo, but way better.
and smells way
Okay.
better.
And
Okay.
Robbie, I think, literally uses it to shower every day.
Only when I've been working on the car.
Like
Exfoliate.
full exfoliation of Robbie Veerhout.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What's your favorite thing that you've gotten in a petrol box so far?
Oh gosh. Favorite thing.
Come on, man! You just did a plug. You gotta
Let's
freaking
just-
sell it.
Well, it's not just like one favorite thing. Like no joke. Like I have like
Give me a favorite. Thing.
I have a shelf of like all the shampoos and car care cleaning products I'll ever need. So like if I need something, I just walk over like, oh, I guess I need this quick detailer, or I need this glass cleaner, or I need this, literally car shampoo or fabric shampoo. Like I have all that stuff because it shows up, and I just
Okay.
I have it. I also have
Stuff I would never
tools.
buy,
Yep, tools.
but I actually need.
Screwdriver that I use, like the Phillips screwdriver. I literally use it every day. That's the one I go to. And
You had to
then
have gotten that like what?
that was one of the first ones we
4
got.
years ago.
Yep. And
How many
then
times has it been through the washing machine?
the screwdriver?
Yeah.
Never.
It's a pretty big screwdriver. That'd
Yep.
be pretty rough to forget.
Yep.
Yes.
And
You'll
then
hear
then like man, I wear Petrobox shirts a couple times a week. And then
Okay.
Yeah, same.
I also
Nice.
got my first set of those step bits. The
Unibits. step
Unibits,
bits,
yeah. My first set
Nice.
of those, and those are awesome.
Changed
Okay.
his life.
Okay.
So no. And
Nice.
and as if that wasn't enough, and the discount wasn't enough, every single month they give away a set of Rotiform wheels.
Shit.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yep. So 12
Every month.
month. So like there's way better odds of winning any lottery or any raffle or anything. Like if you sign up, your odds of getting a set of wheels are dramatically better than anything else in the world.
Yeah. No kidding.
They make great Volkswagen Fitment wheels. I'm just saying.
I was gonna say, rotiforms on a 2008 Lexus LS.
That would look
That'll work
good.
too. That'd
Right.
work
That
too.
would look
Right.
good.
Get some 22s on that thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's as big as most people go on those bad boys.
Yep.
I
So,
think the Lexus would look good with some turbo fans. I'm not even joking.
I
I would
know.
disagree with that statement because nothing looks good with turbo fans.
Oh, sacre bleu.
Yeah, exactly.
Go
Exactly.
eat your peeps.
See what I deal with every single week.
oh man.
Robbie hates all things 80s.
That's not
Oh,
Oh,
man.
really?
that's not
Yeah.
Yeah,
all the
I'm a
way true.
material girl, man. Come on.
not
Yeah.
all things. He said. Robbie,
Yeah.
name one good thing that came out of the 80s.
I can't.
Yeah. Ian.
Me
Ian. Acid wash jeans. Hello. Hypercolor shirts. It showed you exactly where your pit sweat was.
I forgot that was a thing.
The
Kate
video
Bush.
game Tetris.
Kate Bush, anybody?
Yeah. Right?
Nothing?
Yeah. Tribe Called Quest, People's Instinctive Travels. And yeah.
Public Enemy,
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Pixie Surfer Rosa.
the Nine Inch Nails. That came out of that.
Jesus. Talking Heads.
That was more 70s, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but
So
This is now a music show.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that now.
Sorry.
So
we don't talk music here. It gets
No,
people
everyone
really
gets so
fired up.
mad because I don't listen to
because
anything.
we have terrible taste in music.
Wait, let's hit me. Hit me with your worst shot. What do you got?
I
Pat
hate
Benatar.
Guns N' Roses.
What?
I hate Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
I don't
All right,
think
so
that-
what did you like?
That offends people.
Yeah, it does. But
maybe in Iowa.
Well, I mean, Guns N' Roses is hard, right? Because like they have one just like classic album, and then the rest are divisive at best, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Jungle's my karaoke song.
I love that song. So
I can do the little Axel dance.
Ugh, no.
What?
I always
Huh?
we're learning things about Dave.
You're
Here.
tapping me up and I'll do it.
It's
Oh my God,
interesting.
it's amazing.
I can
I
even
would-
kind of
I
do
would-
a
The taffy
voice.
courage. Watch
I would
out.
drive. I would drive to Denver to see that.
Yeah, that sounds like something you should do at Grid Life.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm into
we
it.
do
I'm
have
into
the
it.
biggest karaoke parties at Grid Life.
Yep.
Yeah, I have 2 karaoke songs: "House of Pain," "Jump Around," and Guns N' Roses, "Welcome to the Jungle."
I'll say mine's Scotty Doesn't Know by Lustra. I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and then Fuck You, I'm drunk. But I don't drink, but you know it's a good one.
If you can get up there like that Darkness guy,
Yep.
yeah, well done.
I can't do
So
it well,
what-
but that's kind of the point.
So we're burying the lead here. So because I'm curious and I'm fascinated by people with really terrible music tastes. Because
Should I be
to
offended by that?
Oh no, trust me, Robbie.
he said you guys had terrible taste. That's what Adam
Yeah,
said.
Adam, is it just nothing but Chumbawamba and what?
Like, yeah, what is it? What's
I don't know. Like
did you listen to like fucking Hinder and shit?
no, I don't like Hinder. Like
Chevelle.
specifically. I do love Chevelle. Chevelle's probably one of my favorite bands. So you can just leave that comment out of there. It's fine. I also listen to a lot of like really old music. So like like to me, like Boston, their first album is one of the greatest albums of all time. And I will listen to that shit on repeat constantly. I love it. It's amazing to me. Seen them in concert. Rush. I don't care how cliche that might be.
These
love
white
Rush.
New Balances
I
are
was-
just showing.
I was my favorite. So one of my favorite things about New Balance shoes, and my dad is going to kill me if he listens to this. But one of the things I laugh about the most ever in my life. Is
I think about it like once a month.
my dad and my uncle got tickets to a Rush concert, and this was probably 10 years ago, and we were at my grandparents' house, and they went someplace. They drove into town like hours before the concert and then came back. And we're like, where the hell are they? And they came back. They had gone to the mall to buy New Balance sneakers
So that
for
they
the
could
Rush
stand
concert.
just for the show.
Amazing.
That's something you would
great.
do,
I love
Adam.
it.
That is
And
exactly.
I was just, they unboxed and they like very excitedly like unboxed them in front of everyone. And I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, you guys.
Whenever you guys talk about music on your show, like I would venture to guess that at least 75% of the time, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I know a tiny fraction of the bands that Ian's into, you know?
So
Yeah.
See, what you got to do is desperately cling to your youth and force yourself to listen to all of the new stuff that comes out that you don't understand because you're already too old. But then you got to pretend that you do, and then you got to force yourself to like it, and then you seem not cool but pathetic.
And that helps you sleep at night.
what's the bleep bloops that Dave loves so very much?
So Dave loves like I call it. It sounds like if you ever heard. If you could imagine 2 fax machines fucking each other, that's the music that Dave likes the most.
Yeah.
And
Basically,
also everything created between the years like 1996 and 2002.
Those are good
about
years.
1990.
Those are good years.
1990 and 2000-ish, 10.
So I tried listening to that once because you guys talk about it regularly. I don't. What's the band
Autekra,
name?
probably. Autekra.
Yeah, probably
I feel
Altekra.
like that wasn't it.
Or
but maybe.
Aphex Twin.
Aphex Twin. That's what it was. You guys talk
Oh.
about this all the time, right? So I'm like,
That'll
how
melt your face.
just see
buddy.
what it is,
You're
right?
coming
Right?
in
So,
off the street
so I
trying to mainline Aphex Twin. What are you doing, dude? You got to start small. You got to start.
So, YouTube adventure, right? Like, how bad can this be? I don't think I made it 30 seconds.
Yeah. Was it the Come to Daddy video?
I don't know.
Watch that one.
The first thing that popped up when you Googled or when you YouTube search Apex Twin.
Oh, boy.
Watch Come to Daddy right before you go to sleep. That's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So now there's somebody making a post on our Facebook page, our Facebook group, about their first experience that they just had as well with Apex Twin.
Okay.
And first of all, I'm sorry. And secondly, Dave's not on Facebook, so you can't you can't get at him for this. So
Yeah.
I am in your group though. I joined it.
Yeah,
I appreciate
Nice.
that.
I'm sorry.
Nice. I have no friends on Facebook.
Apex Twin. APHEX space TWIN. Apex Twin.
Yep. It's a brilliant
Right.
man
You've
named
heard-
Richard D. James.
Like Apex, but with an H.
Yep.
You've heard, I mean, Robbie, I don't know how old you are. I'm guessing you're about the same age as Adam, but like you've heard Come to Daddy before and probably Window Licker, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this
But
kind
like you've probably heard it at some
Is this
point
kind of
in
like
your life.
I'm basing this strictly off visual?
Uh-huh.
Is this kind of like Rammstein?
No.
No, not at
Yeah.
all.
0%. It's like glitch techno.
It's
very-
really weird techno EDM stuff.
It's like the stuff that was kind of the precursor to dubstep, right? Like
Okay,
just
well, I'm-
wacky, insane techno music.
I'm in on dubstep.
Okay.
I'm in on
Okay.
dubstep.
You might like Apex Twin then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Check out Window Licker. It is legitimately one of the greatest videos that's ever been made.
Okay.
And I mean, a solid banger of a song.
Is this like
Yeah.
this? That sounds like something they play at Good Life.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay,
I wouldn't
then
be
yeah.
surprised if Apex Twin had a show at a Grid Life. At some
I
point.
love that they're like, we have shitty taste in music. And Robbie's like, I really like this thing that you just mentioned, Dave.
I'll check it out, man. I'm down.
I think
I got an open
Fuck,
mind.
album of the year. What's everyone's album of the year so far?
collectively,
This
I
year,
think I
we got
probably
dry
have the
cleaning.
worst musical taste. I'll admit that. I'll own it. It's fine.
I for sure have the broadest.
Oh yeah,
Like my range is huge.
yeah.
So
He
I'll
listens to country,
I'll
which
listen
I
to
refuse
country
do.
to like death metal to like pop to it don't matter. It's whatever.
I thought you were going to say country to Western.
yeah. To country, I listen to country and western. Yeah, man.
That's
It's,
a
I'm all
Blues
over.
Brothers reference that I really didn't think Robbie was going to get.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm into.
I like that.
I'm into it all.
Who likes vanity license plates?
I have
You
expressed
do.
my love for vanity license plates.
I have no love. I just don't care.
Okay. Do we have a hard out? Are we okay to play a license plate game?
Yeah,
Let's
of
do
course. That's a perfect
Yeah?
segue.
Okay. So Ian and I have kind of descended into madness on our show, and we have a small street team out there that sends us pictures of people's vanity plates because that's where people like go extra crazy. Like they actually give money to the DMV, Adam, to get a plate other than what is issued. Like you can see mine in my background picture. Maybe that's not a good idea, but
It's a little late now.
The best vanity plate that I'm aware of currently is our buddy JB on his new C8 has jorts.
oh, that's a pretty good one.
Yep.
I saw a C5 with one that just said ham. So,
Okay.
He also has a Huracan Performante that says "Yeah, really" on it that he drives basically
Every
daily
day,
when it's
yep.
nice out.
okay.
That was a good
Okay.
one. That's a good one too.
So we
I
have
like
folks
it.
send us vanity plates, right? And I like to make a little, since it's a special kind of crazy, I like to make a little game for Ian on the show where I'll take 3 vanity plates on cars, I'll black them out, and then Ian has to figure out which plate goes to which car.
Text,
right?
yeah. So he gives me the text of the plate and then
Yep.
the picture of the car where you can't see the plate.
Okay,
to
so
match.
I'll try to read these out. So I got the picture
Yeah.
for on YouTube. If you're watching, it's going to be super easy to kind of follow along for your listening at home. So on the left side, I have 3 cars. On the top, I have a BMW. It's a 4-door. Fuck, I don't know. It's a BMW. Who cares?
It's a 330i, Robin.
Thank you.
Come on.
It's a white 330i for
You
those.
can't tell with BMWs anymore. Right?
Thank you. They're all the same.
Newer, I don't think the newest, but a newer generation.
Enhance. You can
Yes,
zoom in. It's
I've already enhanced.
Yeah. X Drive 330i. Context clues. Tell us what you see. What else do you notice about the car?
He still has the
Tinted.
dealer license plate bracket, which is lame.
Yeah,
But
tinted,
other
Okay.
than that, it looks like a completely factory vehicle. I don't see any
Tinted
tints,
windows.
no bumper
What are our
stickers,
thoughts on
no
that
bullshit.
spoiler?
it's a black aftermarket. Well, not aftermarket, but it's a ducktail style.
I kind of
spoiler.
wondered if that wasn't factory.
It's white car, black carbon fiber ish, right?
But maybe it's
duckbill
not.
spoiler.
Maybe it's
Okay.
Because I don't
It
think that's
seems
an
like
M Sport car, right?
No, it's not.
Wheels
for
are
sure
wrong.
have an M Sport logo on it somewhere. I mean,
Oh, the theme of this one is just gross. So keep that in mind. Okay.
right. Okay, but it's
So-
not tinted. There's no bumper stickers. There's
it's
nothing.
yeah,
like
it's a factory tint.
Kind of helps.
Right.
Seen these, Dave?
Yeah.
All right, I'm able to. Okay,
memory.
this is
Oh,
actually.
not on the Zoom. I'm pulling them up just from the picture in the
Yeah.
in the
Sorry,
folder.
if we share.
Yeah.
If Robbie tries to share his screen, things get weird.
No, I'm
That's
not.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
No problem. And then our buddy Eric in Illinois sent us the truck that you see there. Tell us about that truck, folks.
It is the square-bodied generation of the F-150.
Yeah. So it's like an '80s, maybe '90s F-150. The back has been debadged,
It is white.
but not the side.
Yep. It
Got a
is.
little rust. Not too bad for an Illinois truck, though.
Right.
It's not Adam Jabay's truck, so that's unfortunate.
It is it is 2-door, no back seats.
Right. Got the standard check plate tool chest in the back, right?
Yep. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Diamond tread plate.
Yeah.
It's got a bumper hitch and a receiver hitch in it,
Yep.
which is interesting.
Strange.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Then
Stock wheels, I believe.
Yep. Yep.
yeah. Right. Not too bad F-150, right? Then lastly, we have, how would you folks describe this? Give me the 10/10ths take on this car that you see
This
here next.
appears to be a bone stock Toyota Venza. Black. That's it.
No,
I'm
that
assuming
pause
they
was
have a
really
s-
all you needed to say about that vehicle, right?
Yeah, there's not much to say. I mean, it's a Toyota Venza.
Right. Right.
It's
Okay.
It's a
It
vin-
looks
it's a
like
minivan
kind of
without
been
the
through
sliding
hell and
doors.
back a little bit.
It's just driving down a gravel road one time. It's fine.
Well, yeah, but
Right.
like look at the dent on the rear door, the rear driver's side door there, right along that body line. Somebody hit that real good.
I thought that was just a reflection. Okay.
No, I think that's a dent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to guess that Embry-Riddle is a school. There's a sticker on the back that says Embry-Riddle. I'm going to guess that's a school in Colorado somewhere.
I can help with this. So
Okay.
that is a very famous aeronautical school.
Ah.
Like
for
learn to
pilots.
fly an airplane?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
it's not like a high school I sent my honor student to.
No.
Okay,
No.
that's an air. That
Okay.
makes that harder.
Yeah, it really
I
does,
agree.
actually.
So the license plates that are somehow associated with these three cars. Ugh, gross. Okay. The first one, or one of them, is the word deep. DEEP, right?
What the fuck?
I know, right? Next is fatty. FATY. Then lastly is thick. THIKK. I guess somebody had THICC already.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, for sure.
So
How did these even get through?
I don't know. I feel like. So I have a guess. Robbie, are you locked in? Like, because I
I'm
don't
not
want to.
locked- I'm not
I don't want
locked
to say
in.
anything until you're
talk,
locked
talk
in.
it through. Talk it through. I want to hear your
That's
reason.
fine, but I just want to know if Robbie's locked in or not.
My thought process is that deep would, I don't know, deep would be for like the pickup, talking about his bed size.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
I could see fatty on the Venza because it's a big car, and thick
Okay.
for the BMW because I feel like a BMW would say thick rather than fatty.
Okay.
But I could also see a woman driving the Venza and thinking that she's super thick, driving the Venza.
All right. Okay.
Okay,
But we can agree that all three of these people are maniacs, right?
Yeah, no, there's something weird going on.
Well, I want to hear, do either of you think that there's any combination where you could get to a non-gross explanation?
well, so I wonder
No.
with the aeronautical school sticker if deep is some sort of pilot thing.
That would be a submarine, Adam. That's what you're thinking of.
Or that maybe they're a deep
mean-
thinker.
I don't know. That was where I was leaning because I think fatty's the truck and thick is the BMW for sure.
Okay.
The BMW's got to be thick. Robbie was there as well.
I think so. Yeah.
I like that you both agreed on that. Yeah.
Fatty's got to be the truck in my mind.
Why is that? What makes you so polar for Fatty being the truck?
Well, so
I feel like you want to wheel a whiteboard and like
trying to choose my words carefully.
Yeah, crack your knuckles and
So
get out
this is
some red yarn.
This is a truck it's like an older, like 80s or 90s F-150. It's clearly somebody's baby, but it's not that well taken care of. So to me, that's like a trailer trash sort of truck, right? Like that's parked next to a double wide at night in
Okay.
Illinois.
Okay.
And I just feel like when you're that guy, you're all right with being a little bit fat. Like that's fine. It is what it is. Rocking my double wide and my F-150.
Okay.
I'm
Spending all my
comfortable
money
with
on
that.
vanity plates.
Yeah,
Comfortable with
it's
that
not a,
enough, and I'm comfortable with myself. I've kind of let myself go. It is what it is. Fatty.
it's not a gut. It's a fuel tank for the sex machine that they are, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's armor plating for his six pack.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah.
That's just
Okay.
where I'm at with it.
Okay.
And then
I like where your head's at. Yeah.
I want to believe that deep is not something gross.
It's
right.
no,
I mean, we all
deep
want
is
to believe
always
that there's
something
good
gross.
people in the world, but
No,
here's
right.
these fucking
I
monsters.
want to believe that deep, one of these has to have a reasonable explanation, and I want deep to not be something weird and gross. And thick, there's just no getting around thick. That
Right.
is what it is. So I feel like deep's got to be the one that makes me feel better about the world in this particular situation.
There's no way it will.
Yeah. I wish that I had reasoning behind these, but as you can imagine, when I see people like this and when other people see people like this, don't approach them and ask them why. Just take a picture and send it to apexadjacent@gmail.com, and then I'll put it in a license plate game for Ian.
I do like the idea though that there's like one of these people is just like super like just angry all the time because he's just like, I'm a scuba enthusiast.
Right? It's nothing gross, I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, let's
Then
look at the
thing
answers.
the other thing that I'm worried could have screwed me over is that being that this is Colorado and you guys were pretty early on with the adoption of recreational marijuana usage and a fatty, like
Sure.
Yeah,
maybe one of these guys is a marijuana like a dispensary,
Like a dispensary owner.
Like maybe
right?
the BMW is a dispensary owner and his license plate is fatty and it's referring to his joint or whatever. I don't know.
Adam's doing it,
these
Ian.
terms.
Adam's doing it. Adam's doing what you do, Ian.
Yep.
Thinking logically.
He's noodling. He
Oh,
yeah. Don't noodle.
Yeah.
Trust your gut. Trust your gut.
All
Yeah.
right, I'm sticking with my gut then.
Yeah.
BMW's thick, deep is the Venza, fatty is the truck. Final answer.
all right. Thick BMW, deep truck, fatty Venza.
Robbie has to be at least somewhat contrarian to whatever I say.
Yeah, I refuse to give the same answer as you ever.
I have good news for one of you.
All right. Answers.
Adam, you have won the license plate.
Damn it.
You have gotten all 3 correct. The thick BMW. There's a picture without the black bars in the folder.
I got
there.
it up.
Yeah. The thick is the BMW, fatty is the truck, and deep is the Venza. Who the hell knows why? But here we are.
I feel like deep on the Venza is actually worse.
Yeah,
It feels
right?
worse.
Like with the BMW, like if it was on the BMW, it'd be like, oh, that's gross. But like any vanity plate on that BMW is going to be gross, right?
Yeah.
Like the Venza could have, thick and it'd be like, okay, that's not as bad. But deep is like almost worse because you don't know exactly if it's gross or not, right?
It's deep. It's the automotive equivalent of like your weird aunt who gives you a copy of the Kama Sutra for Christmas in front of the whole family.
Yes. Yeah. There may be a good intention there, but it's really weird. And I don't want to eat turkey with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I feel gross.
Well,
Honestly,
you're a vanity
thick and
plate.
fatty. I'm fine with. Like fatty, I'm fine with. Thick, it's a little weird. Like probably shouldn't be super proud of that. I really want to know what's going on with deep down there on the bottom.
Probably shouldn't be super proud of that. Hey, Beachy Dubs, buddy.
What is
Probably
that?
shouldn't be too proud of that.
What is that? What does that mean?
I mean,
man?
if you got thick with 2 C's, that's passable. I'm okay with that. But like clearly you weren't the first person to think about it. So maybe like pump the brakes on that one.
Yeah,
Maybe
do
find
you
a different license plate option.
Do you want to be the person that definitely was not there first, or just somebody that just did their own thing? Right. This person wants to be that person that doesn't care that they're not the first. Right. Yeah.
I know in
also feel
Iowa
like
you
if
have
you
to put a
see-
few options. And so like I wonder if they put thick as their first option
Right.
and then it was taken. And so they didn't get to know that they were going to end up with option 2, which was
right.
thick with
Until the
2
plate
Ks.
showed up in the
They're
mail.
like, son of a bitch.
Right. And that's bitch with like 3 H's.
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
And a K.
What were you going to say, Ian?
I was just going to say that I think anytime that you own something where you have consecutive Ks, like any number of consecutive Ks is just bad news, right? Because you get to the second one, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Better not be another one.
Right. 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 Yep.
Yeah, thick with 3 Ks is probably not good.
No. No.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have rather had thick with 2 C's and a K than thick with 2 Ks.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just spelling out thick the right way.
What? Come on, get out of here.
I mean, that may have been option.
Ian, we're leaving.
That may have been option 2,
podcast.
and option 3 was thick with 2 Ks. You don't know.
Cut it down.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
we'll
was
probably-
delightful, Dave. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah,
I love making these license plate games, and I love seeing Ian and other people work their way through it.
I play along when you guys do them on the show, on your
Okay.
show, and I think that might be the first time I was right.
Nice.
Most of the time, I'm sitting there yelling at my radio, going, "No, Ian, it's definitely wrong. Don't do that." And then I'm wrong, but it's fine because nobody knows.
Now everybody knows
Now
I
we
was
do.
wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
This vanity plate game was presented by ApexTrackCoach.com, ApexPro, and the Gen 2 unit that is hopefully coming to me as soon as possible, so I can tell you how great it is. I've been using the
not
Apex.
with that chip shortage, Robbie.
Yes, yeah, but I'm priority because I have a podcast. Obviously,
Chip shortage, Robbie.
I have a podcast. I'm wearing the shirt and I have the box. Apex Pro. I've been using the Apex Pro Gen 1 for a couple of years now, and I still say it's the best value when it comes to getting into data. You sync it to your phone, and if you have an iPhone, you get all the data, and you can review it immediately. You just pull it right up as soon as you get off track, see where you are losing time. The lights on the display show you exactly how you're doing well. If they're all green, it means you're doing very well. If you see red, that means you can improve. You could carry more speed through there. Then you go into the data and figure out why you are losing time in certain corners. And it's, again, with the code TenTenths, you get 10% off, and you get the free window mount. So that's on the Gen 2. I still say with that, it's the best value when it comes to data. Anything else with that type of feedback that has that much data, you're going to be spending closer to $1,000, whereas this one's more in the $550 range. That's apextrackcoach.com.
Our friend at ApexPro, Andrew, his go-to karaoke song, "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel.
Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, Joe McCartney, Richard Nixon, Studebaker Television.
Why though?
Do you want me to keep?
Though?
Do you want me to keep going?
No.
But why though, Dave? Why would you have spent so much of your life memorizing what is an impressively complicated song?
I don't know. I can say the alphabet backwards too. Like
God.
shit just shows up and it just doesn't go away. ZYXWUTSRQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA.
What? That's insane.
Wild.
That's insane.
Wild.
And this is where you learn, like, you know, one of your buddies may be on the spectrum.
I don't think that's a surprise to any of us.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
So, any other thoughts?
Yeah, so we had
Concerns?
a few other things we were going to talk about, I thought.
You
wanna
know,
get one or two other things, or are we shutting this down, Robbie?
No, I got all night, man. It's their show.
Late.
Yeah, it's up to them what they want to talk about.
we're going to record one of our own episodes after this. It's going to get a little slap happy. I can tell you that.
Getting late.
Yeah.
Dave's going to get tired.
Yeah. No, like we're really thankful to be on your guys' show.
Yeah.
We've always loved what you guys are doing, and we're always so impressed. Yeah. So it's awesome to be on your show.
Sometime we'll have to have Ian come on here so he and Robbie can talk about F1, since I don't really care. And Dave definitely doesn't really care.
I've been so bad about following this year. I can
Yeah.
every weekend
you're
races
missing
on
out because this is a good.
I
year.
know it is. I need to go back and watch the Baku race because I didn't get a chance to watch that. Like everything else, I've been able to like watch after the fact, but at that point, I've already seen all the results.
Right.
But no, I've been gone every race. I've either been gone or doing something. I couldn't actually watch the race.
I think we should do. I think that's a great idea. We should do a podcast wife swap.
Man,
I'll just make a bunch of license plate games for you, Adam. All
Oh,
right.
I'm so down.
Yeah.
That would be great.
And we'll talk about our affinity for understeering front wheel drive cars.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
So, it's been fun, guys. Thanks for coming
this has
on.
been really good.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, everyone else, check out Apex Adjacent, and we'll catch you next week.